All right, good morning. I'm going to be demonstrating the Maya 2 notes, the Maya 2 assignment. So, just very briefly, I'm going to look at some of the notes here. So, the key thing that we're trying to do today is add geometry to a primitive. So, the one way that you can add geometry to a primitive at the very start is if you have a new primitive and I have it selected in object mode. Over here in the channel box, which is toggled on and off with this, it's labeled channel box on the right here, you're looking for an input called poly shape number, right? And in here, you will see a couple of different settings. The main one that we're worried about today are the ones that are labeled subdivisions. And so if I change these values, which I can do either by typing in a number manually or by selecting the word and scrolling it by pressing the middle mouse button. I can go back and forth, right? So I can do it the same for here. And what I want to point out is when I subdivide these things, the edges are spaced evenly, right? It puts in evenly spaced edges. It adds 3 edges to create 4 subdivisions, right? N edges create n plus 1 subdivisions. So, and same thing, I could scroll and add more edges around the cap, right? So that is fairly useful. It is something that can only be changed at the very beginning though, and it doesn't really allow us to customize it too much. So how we would apply or add or apply the same concept, if we wanted to add edge loops manually, there's a tool for that, which is appropriately called insert edge loop. So if I grab insert edge loop, sorry. So I click, hold, and drag with the insert edge loop tool active, and you'll see how it's creating this little illusion. And when I let go, it puts in new edges, right? So the thing I would point out is, one, as soon as you put in an edge loop, it's automatically selected. So if you go to another tool, you'll automatically be able to affect it. And to that point, when you're on the insert edge loop tool, if you do not switch to another tool, it will continue to try and add edge loops. So if I try and grab this edge here, or this loop here, see how now it's just like, hey, what are you doing? I thought you were trying to add edges, right? Because I'm on the edge loop tool. So, and you'll see, I'm going to undo first. 1, 2. So you'll see, right, when I press Q for the select tool, the cursor changes, right? So be aware of that, right? If you already have an edge loop that you cut in, that you deselect for whatever the reason may be, or you just, misclick, what have you, double click the loop and that will reselect your loop. And so basically all we're doing today with our cylinders, which I'm going to lift this up out of here, is we're adding edge loops and then changing the shape of our object. So I'm going to scale this so it's a little taller before I get started. Okay, and I pulled it out of the grid because that annoys me. So I added this edge loop, right? I switched to the scale tool. And you can see how as I scale this, it's changing the shape drastically. So now I can go in, click, hold, and drag, add another loop. And again, we want to click on the vertical edges so that we slice it horizontally, right? So now I've added another set of loops, scale tool, right? And we'll keep doing this until we create our customized vase shape. So I cut an edge in, I hit R for the scale tool, boom. Grab another one, drop it in, scale tool, right? And then so down here where it's kind of sharp, I can go in and fix that. Scale this out, so now it's a little bit more rounded. When I go into object mode, you can see how that effect is playing out. I'm making kind of like a goblet, right? So you need to add 12 edges to this object, to your base primitive cylinder, to create some kind of unique shape. So it should not, at the end, look like a just straight up and down cylinder, right? It should have some kind of unique shape. The one I've been doing has been kind of mundane, right? But you could totally be, you know, going wild with it, right? I don't know what we're doing at this point, right? But, right, your shape can be very wild, right? So that's your plan. That's the plan. Go ahead and practice using the insert edge loop tool with a primitive cylinder, and then you're going to cut in 12 loops. So that does not count the top and the bottom. So you need to have 12 loops in this middle portion. Okay, just horizontal loops going up and down. You're using the scale tool to change them. Reminder, double clicking an already created loop. You can go back in and edit that if you want to do something different with it, right? All right, cool. Good luck.